y'all. Okay, so I'm back. Honestly, the kitchen low-key might just be my filming spot. I just see a facial detection is on. Because every time I film content, every time I realize I need to film content, I'm in the kitchen. So, like maybe, just maybe, my content all needs to be filmed in the kitchen. So I have to do some dishes. Just went grocery shopping again. Bro, I go grocery shopping so much. I feel like I tell people all the time. I say I tell people all the time, but really I talk a lot. Oh, when you go poor eating church food, literally getting groceries is so fun. Yesterday we got groceries with the kids and they help me put it away, and I sit in front of the fridge for just 10 minutes looking at everything. And I talk to you guys about this all the time. My fiance, I believe opposites attract. So my fiance grew up privileged. So he said his fridges were never empty. Like, lucky you, bitch. Me, on the other hand, I used to have to get church food. So anytime our fridge is filled, I literally stare at it. Especially when it's filled with food that I want. Growing up, my mom was on top of being poor, my mom had the audacity to also be healthy. So when we did get food, instead of white rice, she would get brown rice. It was a travesty. So here we are. Boom. Now we're going to talk about what everybody came here for, which is rebuilding your life in Los Angeles. If you haven't watched, hi, my name is Candy. I moved to LA finally after going back and forth for about 10 to 13 years. And on TikTok, I have gotten so many questions on how I moved to LA. It's extremely overwhelming to answer individually, so I decided to just make a video. So I moved to LA because my goal is to build 10 businesses by the age of 50. I'm 32. I have built a plethora of businesses. Honestly, what I have been doing over the past couple of years is just trying out businesses, seeing if I like it, see if it'll work, starting Instagram, starting websites and stuff, because a lot of business is trial and error. I got elected as fashion president for my college, which forced me to move out here quicker. My goal was to move out here summer of 2026, but that got expedited due to the election at our college. So after moving here, I decided, before moving here, I had to decide why I was moving here. And after deciding why I have moved here, I'm now executing that plan. So this video is mostly about how to restart your life in LA. I think that's what I wrote down. Hold on. It is, how I'm building a life from scratch in LA. So basically building a life from scratch in LA. Let me pause this. So I was going to say, yesterday I was grocery shopping and I saw one of my favorite characters, because now she's my favorite, but one of my favorite characters from The Office. My mom did not let us watch TV growing up, but she let us watch a couple shows because she liked them, and The Office was one of them. So seeing her was really, really cool, and she was really, really nice. And yeah, it was cool. I didn't know it was her at first. We kept bumping into each other at the store, and then she ended up getting in line behind me, and my kids and we're just chatting. Kids are kids, they chat with anyone. And then when we went outside, we bumped into each other again because we had to put our carts away at the same time. So I'm like, girl, you look familiar. Where do I know you from? We had a little chat first. I didn't just outright say it. And then she was like, oh, I was just a drunk on The Office. I was like, just a drunk on The Office, girl. So yeah, where are we at? We are at 3 minutes of me just chatting. So now that you guys are caught up, that's me. That's who I am. That's what's going on. Now let's get into it for real this time. How to move to LA and build from scratch. I think, let me pause this and restart it. I think when you ask yourself, I'm going to move around. We need to start normalizing making real content where people are doing stuff. So, I'm trying to turn on my face tracking. Hold on. Okay, so when I moved here, I've started from scratch multiple times. I think it's really important to notate that. So me starting from scratch isn't something that's like new to me, but I am going to walk everyone through how to start from scratch. So you have to figure out what your scratch is. To me, it is moving with nothing. So when I moved here with zero, zip, zilch, nothing. But the clothes that we decided we wanted to bring, I never really like to move the big furniture. I think it's just an unnecessary cost. I have moved so many times in my life, I feel like in my adolescence and adulthood, and I feel like having big things like furniture, that could just be rebought. And then when you're moving, it's just when you sell your furniture, that's a pretty good chunk of change that you can use for your move. I think a lot of people battle with maybe not wanting to have nothing in their house, but like I grew up with nothing, so that doesn't matter. So for me, when you move, you have to figure out how you want to move, okay? Boom, that's out the way. How do I want to move? What is it that I want to move? So I also think this is a trauma response. I don't have any physical connection to anything. So besides my children and their dad. But other than that, I don't have anything where I'm like, I have to bring this with me. You have to figure out what that is and isn't. So to start, figure out what it is that you need, like what is a necessity and what is something that you can humble yourself and just like rebuy later. I guess I moved around a lot, so I didn't know that people have like emotional connections to stuff. I don't. So I think it's very important to kind of prepare yourself to part ways with stuff, okay? Second, building from scratch. When you find your community, the very first thing that you need to do is figure out where the recreational centers are, where the libraries are, where YMCA, things of that nature. One thing that I see people do when they move is immediately just like, I want to party, I want a club, at least my age. Because now I feel like people my age, I'm 32, they're like rushing to find solutions like, I gotta make it, so they're just willing to do anything, okay? When you move, you need to get involved in the community because the community is really the heart of what your experience is gonna be like. So if you're not involved in town meetings, like when we went to Texas, we would watch town meetings and we were so mortified because honestly, you learn a lot about what the community is willing and not willing to pay for, what they're willing and not willing to support through town meetings. I just think people are lazy and don't take the time because free will, you don't fucking have to. But these same people move to these places are in our culture shocked because they just don't know how the town they move to works. Everything is about politics. You can figure out how a town works, how they operate, what they prioritize and don't before you move there. When I moved to Texas, they didn't even fund school buses, okay? They didn't have no libraries. They didn't fund school buses. They didn't have any sidewalks. Okay, if you go down to my content, you could probably see content of me in Texas. Likely won't see any content of where I lived because I don't film where I live. But where we lived, right outside the very nice, expensive apartments that cost just as much as California, they had no sidewalks. So those are things that we were thinking about, like, man, at least in California, we pay taxes for fucking sidewalks. People were riding horses to school in Texas still. So we were just like, yeah, no, we're too cool off this. So you need to watch town meetings and know how your county operates because each of them operate different. Each of them offer different things. Texas also didn't have any human assistance. I have been on human assistance pretty much my entire life, on and off, unless I make too much. So once I make too much, then I get off of it. I believe human assistance is a phenomenal tool. Groceries, especially right now, are very, very expensive. So as you can see, I go out and buy groceries. I cook 2-3 times a day so everybody can eat. Know where your grocery stores are. Know if they have any human assistance. People go through shit. People lose jobs. So you need to be able to have a backup plan if something like that happens. Great thing about California, if I lost my job, 1 day, 2 days later, I'm getting food stamps. It used to be same day. Now it's a little bit longer depending on what kind of an emergency it is. I don't know how it is with this presidency, so I can't comment on that. But I pretty much I've been through a lot. So anytime I've lost a job, anytime the human assistance has been there, I pay into the shit. Anytime I have a job, they take out them taxes. So make sure that you're staying someplace we have to pay taxes these places. So if you're paying taxes places, you do have to you're paying taxes. So understand what they're paying for and what you could do with them. And community centers, buses, like those are public servants. Bus drivers are public servants. We pay for them. Librarians, all of them. So libraries are the most underrated community hubs. If you go, librarians are very smart. So if you go to a library, the librarian, one, has a degree, and two, they have to know everything like within their region. Like libraries are, look it up, they're the most amazing hub for anything in any community. So that if you're building from scratch in a new city, you need to hit up the library and you need to be friends with the librarians so that you can get resources and stuff. Resources is big. If you're watching this video, you're likely not rich. So make sure when you move, you're not operating off of that. I'm assuming that you want to move to LA. So operate from the perspective of community. Don't operate from this perspective of celebrity, meaning, oh, I want to go to Beverly Hills all the time. I want to do this. I want to do that. You're not building your community in Beverly Hills because you're poor. You have to build your community where your wage is at. So you need to make sure that you're choosing some place that you can afford, people that look like you, people that act like you. You know, it's just important. It's the stuff that people don't want to talk about. So people get to LA and they're like, oh, it was so expensive. Like, no, you're living in Beverly Hills in a $5,000 studio. You know what I mean? Like, LA is not that expensive. So I feel like people just live beyond their means. And you can only do that for so long. And that causes a lot of mental angst. Like, imagine living above your means, and for what? You don't know anyone here. You're just moving here. So you're living above your means to impress people that you don't know or haven't met. And for what? Which is why it's important to know why you want to move here. So third, if you want to build from scratch in LA, know what your community is supposed to look like. So for me, I don't want many single friends. I'm not single. I have a man and kids. So the quality, like the type of life that I live is significantly different. So how might I go about finding those people that I want? Well, my kids are in sports. Anytime we go to sports, we meet other parents. It's like you had to put yourself in a position to meet or create the community that you want. I'm also really good at creating communities. So like events that I host, I would just curate those spaces. So when you're building something from scratch, you're either going to curate the space or you're going to do your due diligence to find the space. Community is so important because that is your environment, and your environment dictates how you act. Do you want to be out here acting a fool? So you need to know the type of people that you want to be around. You need to know the type of things that you want to get into, and you need to know what your boundaries are. Next, prioritize what you're doing and budget. I don't know what this... Like, I have always had to budget because I'm poor, or have been poor. I feel like I'm okay. I'm not like rich or anything. I just have better learned to prioritize my finances. And when you're raised in poverty, you don't really know how to do that. So I feel like once you come here, you have to do that because like a coffee is $7. There's my phone. A coffee is $7. So a $7 coffee times 7 days a week is $49 times 4 weeks a month. That's $196 per month on just coffee. Me, I like cannabis. And so those are the kind of numbers I look at when I do that. I'm very honest with myself. It's a big bill. So in LA, it's like, well, do I want to spend $200 on cannabis or do I want to spend $200 on going out once a month? You know what I mean? So in LA, you do have to budget and you do have to prioritize and you do have to figure out what is this and that. And you do have to say, okay, this year I'm going to make this much. Next year I'm going to make this much. It's just what it is. So if you move out here thinking, oh, I'll spend it, the mindset of like, I'll spend it and make it back, you will be broke here. You will be broke. There are larger investments that you make here. It's just more stuff to do. It's more expensive. So you have to fully plan what you're going to do with kids ahead of time. Speaking of kids, there's hella free shit to do with kids. Look at my page. I go to museums. I go to parks. Like in addition to all of that, and that's why I'm telling you guys, people move here and do too much. You can move here in your first 2 years, strictly just do parks, museums, and free shit. It's pop-ups everywhere. Kylie Jenner's always popping up doing free stuff. Kim, like all these big brands are constantly always popping up and doing stuff. You just gotta wait in the line, but it's like, okay, wake up early, but you're still saving money and you're not overspending, and it's still giving you that rich experience. So I feel like you kind of have to work your way up. For me, people move here and they go to Rodeo. I've been back and forth to LA so much, I've never thought to go to Rodeo. There's really no reason for me to go to Rodeo Drive other than to look around. That is far beyond my tax bracket. So until I'm in the tax bracket where I can go and buy whatever the fuck I want, because I operate like that, I have no reason to go to Rodeo. I'm okay with going to Century City. I'm okay with going to Ross. So I feel like when you are building yourself in your community here in Los Angeles, it's very important to have boundaries, and it's very important to know, like, this is like, you got to work your way up. You don't just get here and become... You know what I mean? Let me see. I have one last point. Okay, so everybody is not your fucking friend. I think I talked about this a bit in the last video. But if you come to LA, you'll learn everybody fucking knows someone. And it's actually very annoying. Because everyone here knows someone. So they kind of use that as like leverage to like, oh, I know this person. I know that person. So I guess if you're coming here to like know people, then yeah, but okay, so everyone's not your friend. Like everyone does not have your best interests. Everyone here is very transactional. I say everyone, obviously it's not everyone, but I do think it's like, it's straight up good practice to walk into LA thinking it's everyone, because if you don't, you'll just be kind of naive to the stuff that occurs here for real. So everyone wants something. It's hard. Because for me, it is genuine. People fucking love me, but I feel like, but also people don't like me too. So I think a lot of it has to do with my grit, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that I don't operate from a place of like, oh, I know this person, I know that person. I operate from a place of like, this is the work that I could do, and this is how much I charge. Yeah, I keep everything very business. So I think if you are not prepared for that in LA, it is a rude awakening. Everyone is not your friend. Everyone's really good at acting. Do you know how many people I've met? Oh, two. I've met two people who are like, oh my God, I know all these people. I could just give you the names. Oh my God, I know this person at Nike, and I know this person at, I'll just go with the Nike example. Okay, so that person felt the need to tell me they have a connect at Nike. I didn't bring up the connects that I know. I just talked about the work that I do, the scope of work that I do. That person felt threatened because I said the scope of work that I do. I threaten a lot of people because I'm fucking good at everything I do. I'm good at my job, okay? And that makes people who are not good at their job insecure. So they were like, oh, well, I work with Nike. We should partner. They always partner out. They always want to partner out here. I'm like, all right. So 2 weeks, I follow up with everybody because I do what I say, so I expect other people to. That's not the case. 2 weeks, I wait for them to meet with me, plan to meet so we can get this event going and partner with Nike. I didn't hear back from them, so I went to an event. It was called The Shaw. It was at Crenshaw High School. Nike threw that event. I found a Nike Connect. I talked to Nike myself. Like, I wait for no one, but everyone in LA waits for someone. They know someone. I could do this better. It's yap. So moving here, that's also why it's important to have your own plan that doesn't include other people. No, I don't need my success to revolve around meeting this one person or getting my song to this one person. You're a rapper, get online and start fucking rapping. You're a rapper, put on your own show. You're a clothing line designer. Oh, okay. You need to be at every pop-up possible. You need to be going to work, paying that $250 once a month at a pop-up space so people get to know who you are, pass out flyers. You have clothes, go to different stores so that they can have them in the store. Like, there are so many things that I have had to learn. You do not depend on anyone for your success here. And if you do, prepare to be waiting a long time to be successful. Because in addition to all of this, rich people don't like to help. Like, you might find your one or two, but they don't like to help. I'll never forget, I danced with a bunch of rich people for a while. Right on Santa Monica. Them people don't help the community with shit. But when it's time for them to host a gala, or sell their art. They want people to support them, but do they support the community? Absolutely not. Not unless it directly benefits them, and that's how rich and narcissistic people operate. If it's transactional. So don't think you're moving to LA just pretty and you're getting a transaction that's going to benefit you and make you rich. You're not. So you need to build your community, and you need to build it well. And you need to make sure that the community that you build revolves around you. So me, I put myself first. I don't really give a fuck. I'm like the minority of women. I did the whole stay-at-home mom thing, and it was awful. So I decided to go back to the work field, and now I put myself first because women are very strategic, logical, and calculated. So everything that I do always works. Literally, money always comes to me. Everything I do always works, but I always plan. So I feel like I have had to navigate building my community multiple times, multiple places. And if there's anything I've learned consistently, it's you need to have confidence in your own plan to build yourself up from scratch. You need to know what the fuck you want to look like after the scratch being built is done. You need to say, oh, okay, by the time I'm done building myself from scratch, I plan everything down to how long I want my hair to be. That's how strategic. I plan everything down to how many piercings I want to have. I want to get my belly button pierced by the end of this year. There's little things that you do have to plan. You have to envision yourself, and then you have to act on the vision. Okay, so I moved to this apartment, right? Beautiful place. Was not my end all be all. So love it. Great first place. I'm giving myself 2 years here. 2. You cannot get stuck in your environment. You cannot get stuck in comfortability. You cannot get stuck in lack of discipline. You need to make a plan, and you need to build. Okay, and don't depend on anybody else. I don't even depend on my man. I tell him that all the time. All the time. We've been dating. We've been together 11 years. He proposed to me 6 years ago. I will not plan a wedding because the idea of planning a wedding with his and my family makes me want to physically vomit. That being said, I put myself fucking first. I put myself first. That's why I didn't plan the wedding. So I feel like once you start putting yourself first, I let my partner of 11 years know he's not the center and end all be all of my life. Not even my kids, I am. And then after that, it's like him and the kids like mixed up in there. But I'm the center of my fucking life. It's my life. So I feel like as long as you know that, you can build anything from scratch. You're the center of your life. Make a plan. Know you're broke. It's okay to start from the bottom. Like, why do people want to be rich? I don't understand. Like, why do people off bat with no work want to be rich? I want to be rich, but not like off bat with no work and grit. So that is how you build. And it doesn't even, this is even just for LA. This is for anywhere. You can literally move anywhere with the same mindset. So first, you need to know yourself. Why the fuck do you want to move? Are you moving because of what? You have to ask yourself that. Why are you moving? Are you moving because you want to be next to the fucking Hollywood side? Which is that's valid. It was my dream to move here. It's my dream to go to USC and retire and be able to walk on the beach. I feel like that's pretty attainable life dream. And then once you get here, be okay being bored. Like, bitch, I just spent my savings to move to LA. I'm cool with being bored in the house I pay for. I'm cool with going grocery shopping and cooking. I'm cool with watching my little TV. Like, all that shit's cool with me. I don't have to, like, move to LA and be the richest and the baddest and the hardest in the party. Like, that's going to come just with meeting people within my community. Once you move to your community, get to know the community. I am so shocked at how many people will walk around Los Angeles and not get to know the community they're literally living in. Or how many people, like, I have heard so many people say I frequent around Koreatown. I've heard so many people say Crenshaw, Inglewood, Koreatown, like, they're so ghetto. I mean, they're not more ghetto than the places I'm from, but it just shows, like, people probably come from communities outside of LA where it's not as ran down, but I don't think they realize LA's LA. All of LA's ran down, baby. Even Beverly Hills, Brentwood. Like, there'll be little pockets that they, like, redo, but LA's always under construction. Like, everywhere in LA is always under construction. So it could be a house, it could be a freeway. Like, so I think it's really important to know the community that you're going to move in. Be a part of it. Like, if you watch my last video, I buy my food, I buy my dishes. Like, this is all my dishes. Let me see. Oh, well, I ain't done no dishes, but the dishes that are in here, everything in there, bitch, I bought those from a lady a block away. She has a thrift store. She's always in there with her kids and her sister or something. One time I came in, they were singing NSYNC. I'd rather give my money to my community than give the money to, I don't know, some big chain store. So I think when you're moving to LA and starting from scratch, understand what starting from scratch actually fucking is. from scratch. You know no one. Scratch is a good place to be because you could literally be anyone. Okay? You could say, your name could be Amy. You can move and say, actually, I'm Beth. And who's going to say something and who's going to fucking know? No one. So you have to see moving as more of like an empowerment thing than a stressful thing. And then moving to LA is not going to change your life. It can actually ruin it. So if you don't have a plan for LA, even if it's as simple, like your plan could be like, I just want to move and work 3 jobs and go to the beach. That is a valid enough plan. So the next thing you would do is to apply at jobs. The only thing with LA that I will say is it's incredibly hard to apply at jobs while you're not here. So me going back and forth was helpful. I personally feel like the job part is just tough. I would just save. If you can get a job, great, but I would just save. It takes off the pressure. So I saved like 2 months rent. 2 months. Didn't spend it. Lived within my means. I actually think I lived below my means. We did a lot of Dollar Tree shopping. I did not exceed my means at that period of time. So I think it's very important if you want to move to LA to know, like, what can you actually do? We had baked chicken, ground beef, hamburger helpers, spaghettis. We had very cheap meals all the time when saving to move here. So you really have to figure out where you're willing to sacrifice, because ain't no way you think you're going to get here without sacrificing shit. It is easier to get here if you are working, though. So if you're working, just give yourself a number to save and a date. If you're working, keep working so that you can have 2 months rent and then move. That's all you really need is 2 months, and that's to be safe. If you moved, like, I feel like if I moved with 1 month's rent, I would have still been fine. And then another thing, don't underestimate school. Use financial aid from school. I was in school. I stay in school so that I can get a check. It's like the easiest cheat code to me. The easiest cheat code ever is staying in school and getting financial aid. They'll pay you to go to school. It costs to go to school, but they also pay you back. So that's extra band every couple months that you just get from taking a class or 2. So go to school. And if you can't do that, get loans. All else fails, go to school and get some loans. Keep your GPA at 2.0. If it's under a 2.0, fill out a SAP appeal so that they'll still give you your financial aid. But bitch, there's ways to do anything here. You're single with no kids, go look for a spot, go enroll yourself in some classes and go get some student housing. $600 in LA for a student housing. Like, get on your Zoom. I might actually start making, like, if you guys really wanted to plan and you needed help, I might start actually helping people for a fee. But I might make a little consulting company, because I'm making this series because so many people ask how I moved to LA, and I'm just like, hustle and grit. But this is literally how I did it. I strategically planned everything. And another thing, we talked about moving to LA, like, how many years before moving? Like 4. We talked about moving like 4 years before moving, and then we moved to Texas because we have friends out there. I talked about that in my last 2 videos. We moved to Texas because we have friends out there. Texas paid $7 an hour. So no, we took our savings that we had and moved right the fuck back to California, stayed with my in-laws, his parents, which was fucking awful, lived on our own, and then in the meantime, like during all this, we were like, we're moving to LA. After moving from Texas back to Cali, we didn't even want to stop at our hometown in Sacramento. We wanted to go straight to LA, but we just didn't know like anything. So from 2023 until 2026, because we moved in 2026, we planned to move to LA. That's 3 years. This was not just like we woke up and was like, oh my God, like, no, we went to Texas. We wanted to move before Texas. So maybe 2022. We went to Texas because we have friends out there that was like, it's Texas. Then we got there and was like, what you mean the club is 30 minutes away? What you mean we're getting paid $7 and 2 jobs don't pay for shit in Texas? 2 jobs don't pay for shit in California. 2 jobs really don't pay for shit in Texas. So we were cool off that. And we're not the type to go broke. Like, no offense, they're not even our friends anymore. I think they're not our friends because they got to Texas from Cali, tried to get us to move there. They made it seem like it was a lot more than what it was, because I visited hella times. I visited for years hella times, literally would couch surf in Texas at these people's house. But they were like, oh, just move out here. I can help you get a bottle girl job. I can help you get an airline job. I can help you. So we move out there. I can help you babysit. We move out there. the friend, allegedly, she can't help a shit. She babysitting somebody else's kids. She don't do shit all day. And there started to be a little jealousy comparison situation going on. So I'm like, okay, well, I moved out here because you were the homie and said it was going to be so great, so awesome, and you're going to be so supportive. Because you're so not, I'm going to move back to SAC. And I moved back without telling her, I unfollowed her. Like, I'm not the type to announce shit, bitch. We sold our house down. We moved back to Cali, and that was that. She found out on Instagram. Till this day, she mad at me. But that taught me that Texas is one of those places, like, we would go out clubbing. We would literally drive 30 minutes. Do you know you have 30 minutes? We drive 30 minutes to a club. It's not even fun no more. Versus here, I live a couple minutes from downtown, and I could take a bus. If I wanted to go out and get faded, fucked up in LA, there's going to be a bus running at 2 a.m. to take me back home. That is what my taxes are paying for. You gotta think of that stuff. My taxes are paying for me to be convenienced. I'm not moving to no state where I'm inconvenienced. And it's racist out there. Texas is racist. LA's racist, but I'm in my respective communities. So, like, I maybe see someone outside of my race or any other minority, like, twice a week. In my respective community, there's no one outside of minorities ever, really, unless they work in this area, which also doesn't occur because minorities only hire minorities. So it's a very interesting science, and you have to think about that when you're moving and building from scratch. Are you going to move to Connecticut as a black person and build from scratch? It might be a little bit hard. Actually, Connecticut wasn't a good example. I heard they had black people. Are you going to move to Wisconsin? So if you're going to move, you have to figure out why, who, what, when, where, why. Why are you moving here? You want to move to LA? Why? If you want to move here just because famous people are here, please don't. And that's what people mean when they say, like, stay. You don't want to do that because you'll be broke and you'll end up on Skid Row for real. Because everybody on Skid Row said the same thing. Like, you will end up broke, homeless, and then Skid Row is like very, very dangerous. 1, 2. It's one of those places I feel like once people find their homeless groove, I don't think they ever snap out of that psychosis. So they just kind of stay on Skid Row, you know? So yeah, you need to have a plan so you're not on Skid Row. I read so many stories where people are like, I came to LA, didn't have a plan. I was on Skid Row for like a year. Like, me being on Skid Row for a year would never happen. Skid Row is the most dangerous homeless place in the world. Okay, and it's in Los Angeles, California. Rightfully so, because Los Angeles has the most money in the world. So if I was homeless, I would also move and panhandle in Los Angeles. The rich people live here. Everybody goes to Skid Row and tries to help Skid Row. Skid Row. Not me showing up to class to find out we don't have class. I didn't go to class today. My homegirl just messaged me and said, not me showing up to class to find out we don't have class. Today I woke up and was like, I'm not going. I need to grocery shop. I'm so glad. You know, if I would have went, I go with my gut. I listen to my gut. If I would have went all the way, because I live an hour from school and some change. If I would have went all the way over there, I would have been pissed. So yes, that is this. I think I've given you enough. If you have any more questions, just comment them, and then I'll just answer them because I'll give me video topics. This is like the third video of the 2. So now I think I have 2 more. I think I'm going to discuss the cost of stuff, and I'm going to discuss one more thing. Hold on. The next video, I'm going to talk about, where is it? Get this out the way. But ask questions. Yeah, because I had questions, and honestly, I couldn't find any content of someone moving to LA with a family, which is crazy. So if you're moving by yourself, it's going to be easy. But if you're moving with the family, it's a little bit harder because I had to deal with finding schools and stuff. And LA is very, very strict about that. You need to be in the district. Like, it's a lot. I likely will move them to a private school when they're like in high school. But right now they're in public school, which is fine. They're kids. So my next 2 videos are going to be about how much it really costs to live in LA. So I'm going to break down gas, how much like average gas, like we have SoCal gas here, but back home it was called SMUD, PG&E. So I'm going to break down how much I pay for that, how much my internet is, how much transportation, Uber, Lyft, all that stuff is, how much Metro is, rent. So that would be the cost of living. So that should be a pretty short video. So I'm going to do that video. And then the last... yeah, that's it. because I pretty much talked about finding a community in LA. I kind of talked about this video, so I'm not going to do that. So I'll just do that last video, and if I could think of a fifth one, I'll do it, but it'll be a 4-part series, and I'll just edit everything and say it's a 4-part series. But yes, I think that's everything. I'm at 18 minutes. This video is probably going to be closer to 28 or 30 minutes. Find your community in LA. You could do that through community centers, schools. Oh yeah, schools and extracurriculars. Get involved. When you move, go to YMCA, bitch. I see so many people, "Oh, I only go to Lifetime, I only go to this." I don't really give a fuck what you go to. Join a community. The best community you could join is the fucking gym. Join a class. Like, I'm about to do that. I'm about to join a class. But I naturally build community. I'll go to a coffee shop, talk to people, like, build community. My kids go to school. Me and my fiance are always at the school. Easiest way to build a community, through school. School also has a lot of resources. So yes, that's the end of this video. Next video, we're going to talk about and break down the real cost of everything. I think that's what really everyone wants to know anyway. So that should be fun, nice and short. Thank you for watching. Watch the other two videos. Talk about other shit.